It's time for Team Mundo, and yes, it's a normal game, and I am playing with friends. Yay! And of course, you guys know that I play Mundo a tad old school. Which too, you see, I take exhaust rather than flash or ghost or whatever. And sometimes, if in draft, I may even consider cleanse. The thing with this is, it's always going back to the whole: does Mundo actually have to flash or actually have to use an escape to do anything? No, like if they focus me, I tend not to die quick enough, and I only have to build tankiness, so I will be tanky faster than most other normal beefy dudes. So, I take exhaust, because, you know, either like Lee Sin or Syndra is about to blast my teammates, toss it up on them and protect my teammates somehow. So, it's no lie, Mundo has sustain problems. Right there, this I actually had to stop my own recon because I remembered. Oh wait, Riot for some goddamn reason increased the gold it takes to upgrade jungle machete item. Cause now like let's fuck tanks even more. Either way. So Mundo's sustain issues, I've rectified them by taking Spellvamp, Quintessence, and Spellvamp on my utility tree portion. No longer going full defensive mode, even though you can. I'd rather take it safe with Mundo, someone who has actually negative sustain, for the most part of the game at least. Either way, as you can see, it's 2 for 2 thus far. Two of my teammates have died, and two of theirs have fallen. Here, I catch Lee Sin. We try to play cat and mouse here because Cassidy is kind of losing to Scion, and I know I can kill Lee Sin. Mundo makes Lee Sin his bitch if they're in equal health. So either way, I tossed damage to Lee Sin, and when he jumps back, I'm pretty sure he didn't know I had an exhaust or didn't pay attention because he wasn't able to do any significant damage to the Cassidy and then just gets killed. So hooray for me! Hooray for me! Yeah, actually, I'm badass right now. I'm getting the ball rolling as Mundo, and it's obvious this is a war because you can see Scion go back and forth. Either way, Mundo. I know I've explained it tons of times, but in case you're watching any Mundo game for the first time, I always mention something called triple dipping as Dr. Mundo. This is what makes him one of the better junglers consistently in the game. Not always the best pick, but always kind of like a really smart and efficient jungler, right? Or smart and efficient pick in any lane, really. Well, top lane mostly. It's where Dr. Mundo makes multiple use of all the items he gets. One for normal usage of the items, having. By the way, this fight here is just awful, but having health and resistances naturally just makes you a tanky character, right? But in Dr. Mundo, it increases the effectiveness of all your abilities as well. Better passive, better E, more resource and stuff like that. There you go. Also your ultimate. But there and then it multiplies even further, giving you more damage in lieu of being able to use your abilities more frequently and longer and hold on to them, as well as your ultimate just well, I mentioned gaining more effectiveness, but your ultimate just gaining so much value might as well be considered times 10 right there. So, like, you basically gain a whole nother life and a half. Hell, or even sometimes 2 whole lives if you have a Spirit Visage and stacking health, which is actually what I am doing. I'm buying a Spirit Visage. I'm also going to get myself the Juggernaut, and I'm going to just go full on tank and be this indestructible bastard, and you'll see the shenanigans I can pull off. Either way, the reason why this is important for junglers, and, well, mostly for junglers, even top laners though, for junglers, and why he tends to be an efficient and smart pick a lot of the times. And I don't mean smart pick as in against team counts. I mean smart pick is if you somebody who's a penny pincher, is because in the jungle you get so little gold, and building tank items tends to be the cheapest one. But most of the tanks don't have as great a farming capability as Dr. Mundo, unless they murder everybody. So let me reiterate that since I kind of jumbled up a lot of the things I said. Dr. Mundo is really efficient because he only has to build one type of item in order to gain a lot of effectiveness with his kit and murder potential and just become this unstoppable juggernaut. So it's very easy to build him, it's very easy to fund his build, and it's pretty much it increases every factor for him. So you get so much out of the so little you put in, right? or so little you have to put in. By the way, most of my team is kind of crumbling right now, but it's all good. You can see me. I can actually just run into fights at this point and be the unstoppable juggernaut I'm mentioning. You'll see in upcoming fights where I pretty much say, I don't give a fuck. Dr. Mundo is not a tank in the traditional sense of the word. He's more of a character who... He's a damage soaker, a huge damage soaker. But he doesn't have utility or CC. He's sort of like, I'm going to bulldoze right through your team. It's going to be very hard to kill me. And if I get to your carry, I'm not going to let them do anything. It's sort of like that. You'll see that happen a lot. It's like they cannot ignore me because I could kill them. I could slow them. I could deter them. And... all it takes is me just being up in their face, but they can't kill me quick enough. It's like killing 10... It takes... The time it takes them to kill me, it will take them to... it will be equal to the time it takes to kill 10 Teemos. Let's use Teemo as a time frame from now on. Either way... You can see it's kind of even at this point, though. But here's the team fight I'm referring to. I ignore the Scion. I just beeline straight for anybody who has a chance of killing my teammates. I went for Lee Sin to just keep him away. As soon as Tristana, seeing that she wouldn't be able to escape, I went to her exhausted and she's killed. I go on to Lee Sin and make sure he dies, and then I go on to the rest of the enemy team. It's like I ignore their front line. Like... I could sort of peel for the enemy team, by the way. Soraka's badass for sticking around here, even with a little head just to help me kill her. So hooray for this Soraka. Anyway, I could sort of peel, but it's not that great and not so reliable and sort of a waste of Mundo strength. So Mundo strength is usually just best beelining for the enemy carries. And like I said, you'll see this constantly. Either way. Also, I just want to reiterate again, when I said that Dr. Mundo is an efficient and smart pick, I don't mean smart against every team comp, like always pick him against anything. It's that he is never going to exactly fail at what he's intended to do. Like, even if you get slightly behind or you can't pull off any ganks, you can just farm all day, and his build will be cheap enough to just to at least let you do what you're supposed to do with a modicum of ability, right? Like, right here, look, I'm just not dying. I can't die, and they know it, so they're not going to fight back. Like, I can go straight through everything and soak all the damage, and if I have one competent support like Soraka or a Janna, I'm not going to die. And this is going to be, and it gets worse and worse. The more I survive in team fights, the more assists I get, the more I can achieve. Like... The more items I get, more and more detrimental my build gets. Like, look, Soraka and Scion and Lee Sin just couldn't make a dent on me, and my ultimate came up, so I basically got a whole nother life. You know, since it's not fully ranked, it's more like just half a life here. I can't deal with these two, but I can't annoy them, and they know they can't really kill me. And now that my exhaust is back up as well, it just becomes ridiculous. Like I said, I like exhaust more than flash and everything because it also, in a duel situation, allows me to have more time with my ultimate unmolested. Think of it this way. If I was fighting Lee Sin and my health got low and I exhausted him while my ultimate was up, he won't be able to do as much damage to sort of knock that out. Look at here. I'm gonna actually drop here because I had no teammates with me and I didn't make the best use of exhaust, so I just kind of got bum blasted. But still, it took them quite a while, and it distracted them from the rest of my squishy teammates. So then, in sort of a weird way, I was still kind of doing my job. My teammates are going for Dragon, and I think... Do they get it? No, I think it's actually stolen. My teammates get absolutely destroyed here, but once I show up, the tide actually manages to turn. Does it? Did it turn? Yeah. I go in, I cue the Scion. The Ahri also shows up, and she starts annihilating people too. So, boom. Watch this. This is basic shepherding too. I remember that. I keep mentioning this. Watch the video. I ignore Scion because he's pretty much going to die by the rest of my teammates, and I go straight for the Syndra so I can make sure she gets slowed down and pinned down. Scion is going to die by the rest of my teammates, but my efforts to keep the Syndra there manages to get her killed as well. I get killed by the Scion's poke of death, but so my death fed my Ahri another kill. So that is a good trade-off, right? Yes. So you can see I have Juggernaut, Random and Zoman, Spirit Visage, and I'm still buying Wards, increasing my utility. There is no actual offensive builds a Mundo can go that don't end up really fucking him over because his play style isn't very generous with terms of versatility, mind you. So, despite his efficiency with builds and with his whole triple dipping stuff, he doesn't exactly have a lot of builds he can go. Like after he builds tanky, he actually here look, I Scion's gonna ult in, so I obviously just put myself in the middle of it, and then go beeline for the enemy team. They can't cross because I won't let them, and like they get all super disorganized because of that face tanking. And like I just can't die, and I'm blocking any skill shots they try to toss. Though of course, it culminated in them having to kick me out of the way, and then the rest of the team just scatters, and they just end up getting steamrolled. All that tower damage and all that damage I tanked, and I'm still not dead. And in 25 seconds, once my ultimate comes back, I'll be immortal again. It really does help where I have a competent Soraka just healing me whenever I need to. Anyways, we go for Baron, and we get it for pretty much no problem. You see, I use my ultimate, and I'm almost back to full health. So, either way, what was I talking about before then? Oh yeah, Dr. Mundo, if you build them offensive stats, you're pretty much going to be stuck chucking axes or going in close and just getting, rubbed off the face of the earth. If you build, the best way to build a win with any offense is usually after you have built tanky. But even then, that severely limits your choices and items because you already invested in tank, and therefore you won't have enough room or gold to make any noticeable damage increases with your items. Like the most you can possibly do later is take a gamble on a crit item, because with your E and some crit, you can probably chunk them for a little bit, even though you won't have other items to make it really strong. So I've seen players build Atmos on him, maybe as a 6th item, but that's not exactly the most efficient one. The most common item I would see, if they have the goal and the recklessness, is a Infinity Edge. Having a huge crit boost and crit steroid, along with your AD steroid from your masochism, just chunk someone down by the off chance you actually get to start slapping somebody. So that's about the only offensive item I can see on him. The other one being Leandry's, but building it as your 6th item doesn't make it all that great. So I honestly just say I strongly prefer just building him pure tank. At the very least, at the end, build him something like a Hex Drinker or something if you want some offensive stats. But that's not gonna be enough. Either way, team fight breaks out again. They sort of sandwich themselves against us. Like they really kind of brought this upon themselves. They overextended, knowing we would sandwich them. And once again, I just steamrolled in there. I missed against this Tristana. If I hadn't missed, she probably would have died. I go in, tank everything, expecting my Ari and the Cassidy to jump in, and sadly only the Cassidy jumps in. But he manages to kill, one person, and then the Scion just kind of stomps his brains in. Though the Ari did also kill the Scion, so I guess it ended up being equal in this. Though maybe, actually no, not anymore equal. The Syndra got the shutdown. He also got the kill. So the enemy team came out better on that one, since they were already behind, and they were already behind, and we had some bounty gold that they were able to collect. Nonetheless, you can see in most of these team fights, I'm a fucking god. I bought a Thornmail, so they have even less of a willingness to try to remove me, but they have to. I'm in every single look here, I'm just moving in forward. I get massively chunked down, pack up my Spirit Visage ultimate, and I just become insanely difficult to kill. I go right in and I exhaust Tristana just to make sure she can't escape, and she manages to elude for a while, but so Casson managed to pick her off anyways. So I just can't die, and this exhaust is working double time. And honestly, I just never understood why some people are so adamant about taking flash. I mean, in competitive settings, I would understand, because you need to be able to make flash plays and stuff. But in solo queue or in team games where you need to protect certain team members, exhaust has worked wonders for me. And the occasional cleanse, just to make sure I don't get absolutely destroyed by stuff like Old Tristana and people who need to buy more Autonomica and stuff. Or just take carry a lot of ignites. Either way, Like again, if you want to try it, just make sure you don't take any really stupid plays and you only pick fights you know you can win. And don't burn your ultimate to engage unless it's like heavily on your side, like a 3v1 or 3v2. Like usually when you see me blow my ultimate, it's when I know it's gonna be a full on team fight, or when what you call it, I have the exhaust ready on somebody or something like that. Just like here, look, I already have my ultimate burning, so I might as well just go in there and just start chucking in everything. Anyways, sorry, I kind of just got off track there. The team fight, my team is definitely winning. We're dominating or whatever. You can see it here. The enemy team has no chance in hell. My exhaust is back up, so any of them that gets close would just probably get absolutely destroyed. I think the very first ganks that were pulled off, the first counter ganks against the Lee Sin and bottom lane, I think they sealed the deal. And I think the build I took with Mundo played a huge part in this. I mean, it's not exactly the most creative build, but still. The exhaust helped tremendously in a lot of fights, as you may have seen it. My ability to just sort of split the team by being a fat ass helped out a lot, and a lot of my assassins to sort of zero in on important targets and pick them off. Sorry, that was a kind of a belch. So, Mundo inadvertently became a really great choice in this game. If there was an alternative pick, it probably would have been Malphite, but it was blind pick. It was normal game, and I had fun with friends. So either way, I know it seems like the most unorganized team battle because it kind of is. I mean, it's really long. And it is Mundo. Anyways, hooray for Mundo and hooray for friends. I actually do recommend Dr. Mundo for solo queue, though not exactly with exhaust all the time. So give him a try, give him a whirl, he'll carry you. He was one of my top picks to carry myself to Diamond on one account.